Hello, and welcome back to SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Pardon. What? Never. Okay, never.
SpongeBob has been pardoned for his crimes.
I'm sorry, but Squidward tentacles will not be playable in SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom because he's been arrested for tax fraud.
We are considering Squidward tortellini, though.
When you said bikini pardon, I was imagining like a bunch of men and women in bikinis. Yes, all of them in bikinis in a courtroom.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow, I'm dumb. I just realized that the town's name's Bikini Bottom. Like a bikini bottom, like the bottom part
Really?
of a...
You just
wow.
now getting
I'm
that?
Really?
I'm dumb! Okay, jeez.
Holy fuck, Ted.
It's one of... Okay, here's the thing. SpongeBob came out in 1999. I was 6 years old. So I'm not going to get that joke when I'm 6 years old, okay? And then as you grow up, some things just are what they are and you don't think about them too much. Like, okay, Bikini Bottom, that's just what the name of the town is. And I don't think about the phrase anymore than that, you know? It's like I was the same way with a lot of like the Gen 1 Pokemon where I didn't realize the pun for many of them until like years and years later, you know?
Well, it's also I mean, the name is also a potential explanation for how they are what they are because like in the 50s and 60s, a lot of the nuclear testing in the Pacific was in the Bikini Atoll. So
Yeah.
everyone in SpongeBob is potentially just a nuclear mutant.
Those, you see, as interesting as those theories are,
I mean, it has no relevance to anything. It's just an idea.
they aggravate me. Like the Ash was dead the entire time.
No,
theory.
those are stupid. This one at least makes some amount of sense.
Like there's a lot of them though. Like the Rugrats kids are actually like the seven deadly. Well, you can almost every
No.
cartoon is like they're all the seven deadly sins. That's one of the easiest ones to do.
Is Rugrats satanic?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe Angelica, but...
Yeah.
Well, oh no, almost certainly Angelica. But anyway, yeah, this area is basically just the tutorial level for Patrick. So honestly, you don't end up using him that much throughout the entirety of the game, which is weird because he is more common than Sandy. There's an odd number of levels in the game, so Patrick gets one more than Sandy, and one of Sandy's levels is just the snowboarding level anyway, so that's not even all that, like, not even a real platformy level. But with that said, I think part of why I don't... actually, let me rephrase that. You do use Patrick plenty. It just, I guess, Patrick feels much more similar to SpongeBob than Sandy does, so the sections between the two tend to meld together a little bit more for me, whereas the Sandy stuff always felt more unique because it was more different. That's
So
more what I meant.
So Patrick is Knuckles and Sandy is Gamma.
I mean, sure, I suppose.
She doesn't shoot shit, though.
Yeah. So if you're familiar with this game, you probably are also at least somewhat familiar with the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game. It runs on the same engine and many things are very similar. That game is not as good as this one for many reasons. I'm sure I'll get into it eventually. But one thing I do appreciate that they did with Patrick in that is they gave him more moves to make him more fun. Like one simple thing they did was they gave him a cartwheel move, where basically he moved a little bit faster, and while you were moving, you could ram into small enemies. And it's such a simple thing to add that makes him much more fun to play.
So he became Diddy Kong.
So
Kinda, yeah.
A cartwheel. So they capitalized on the fact that he is indeed a starfish.
Except for the fact that since one of his limbs is larger than the others, he shouldn't actually be able to do a cartwheel. But whatever, you know, we'll just roll with it, or cartwheel
Roll with it.
I suppose. Yeah.
Good thing, too. That monster has been stinging all my good customers in their...
Yeah, this sounds nothing like Mr. Krabs.
If you can find him up top of all
It's really the only one that... Well, no, okay. Mermaid Man. Mermaid Man's voice is awful. But other than that, it's just Mr. Krabs, which is... It's frustrating because the voice acting for literally everyone else is spot on. So just having these two... And I mean, if it was just Mermaid Man, I suppose, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal because it was... Oh God, his voice actor was relatively famous, right? It was Ernest Borgnine.
Or Ernest Borgnine, yeah.
Yeah. So
He was also already quite old at the time of this game, so I imagine he probably just couldn't travel.
Yeah, that's also true, especially considering that they have like a whole world dedicated to those characters. But they did get Barnacle Boy's voice actor. Wasn't he also relatively well known as well, or am I making up stuff?
I
I'll
don't
have
know.
to look at the voice actor later.
Okay.
Because I have seen stuff Ernest Borgnine was in the 50s.
Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah, that's really old. Jesus. Okay. All
Well,
right.
he had a funny story about his acting career where he went to like a school because actor and it's a fun guest to have. Obviously, the kids had no idea who he was until he started doing the Mermaid Man voice.
Oh, geez. Actually, you want to know what? That reminds me of an interview I saw with the actor for Professor Oak, where he was a stage actor as well.
Yeah, Stuart Zagnit.
Yeah, and a lot of the different people, like the younger kids who were also working on that
On the
show, like didn't know that until he started doing like Professor Oak lines, and then they all like wanted him to keep on do the voice, say the thing. Isn't that? I was expecting you got. Well, I guess if we were we would have to be doing Simpsons in Run if you were gonna do the Simpsons reference.
Barnacle Boy is voiced by Tim Conway, who's been doing television since the 60s.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
he's still. That's still.
I'm sure he's been in some. I'm sure I've seen him in some stuff. I just can't remember
Yeah.
what.
He's 84.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ!
this
So
video.
he was in
Yeah,
his
Ernest-
70s when this game came out. Or he
Yeah.
might have been 70.
Ernest was in his 80s when this came out.
Yes.
So.
So he would have been 70 when this game came out. So wow. Acting really must not pay that much if you still have to work until you're 70. Jeez.
Well, if you're doing voice work, you're not really having to exert or go to like sets and deal with the weather and stuff. It's probably easier to do when you're older.
But you also probably don't have a 401k, and you have to, like, save up.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So you're saying that I should blow all my money on hookers and blow?
I mean, are the hookers and blow offering voice work?
I mean, how would the blow do voice work?
The blow specifically, is the blow offering voice work?
It's cocaine. It can't talk, John. Have you been taking too much cocaine?
Maybe the cocaine's talking to me.
Let's go ask Jim Belushi.
Okay, so now we know what John does with all of his YouTube money. Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
College debt and blow.
College debt. That college debt can go. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. I love that the tiptoe animation in this literally has like the little cartoon tiptoe sound.
They remind-
Throw a
the-
bowling ball.
Yeah, Flintstones.
Flintstones.
Wait, there's a
The Flintstones did the tippy toe noise thing first.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
one of the things that they actually recreated in the live-action movie.
Okay, you see, I just never really watched all that much Flintstones. Really,
He did it whenever he was going to bowl.
You see, that goes to show how much Flintstones lore I know, because I didn't know that.
Flintstones.
Lore.
Oh, dude, don't get me. There was, I remember for one of the Fund the Charity Room streams, like Gareth and, I forget who else it was, they were talking about Flintstones lore for like a good hour, which shouldn't surprise anyone now that I'm thinking about it. But when it came to like the old Hanna-Barbera stuff, the only things that I remember being on was Scooby-Doo. So, like, even Jetsons or Flintstones wasn't really on Cartoon Network much when I was growing up. So, it would like there was more Looney Tunes on than even that kind of stuff, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Even then, from cartoons of that era, like, the Flintstones to me it was always my Count Chocula compared to like everything else, Boo Berry and Frankenberry. You know, it's like they weren't that much impressionable to me because I didn't really enjoy any of those shows besides Flintstones. Even then, I enjoyed Flintstones for different reasons as a child because I didn't get like nearly half of the adult humor happening in that show.
People forget that the Flintstones was primetime TV back then.
Yeah.
So isn't the Jetsons relatively similar humor-wise to the Flintstones?
It's Flintstones in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why they're paired up so often.
Yeah, basically. How many times have they time traveled then? Jesus.
Well, that was just a big problem with Hanna-Barbera, where they found one thing that worked and then they copied it over and over until it stopped being funny.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they did that with Scooby-Doo for like 5 times.
Scooby-Doo, Jessie and the Pussycats, Jabberjaw. 6 other shows that I don't know.
Well,
that
at least
follow the
Josie
same
and the
format.
Pussycats was had a decent gimmick, you know, with the band, and there wasn't an obvious mascot character. Like a lot of them, it's just okay. We'll make Scooby-Doo a truck. We'll make Scooby-Doo a shark. You know, we'll just try anything, and maybe 1 or 2 of them will work.
Hopefully it sticks.
Well, yeah, a few of them did. Others, not so much.
And there was a lot of others.
Hanna-Barbera were like the Tiger Electronics of cartoons.
Oh, ew.
Anyone
That is
remember Magilla
frightfully
Gorilla?
accurate.
Who?
Did you say Manila Gorilla?
Magilla Gorilla.
Magilla Gorilla, okay. Okay, it was like... I mean, I know you were talking about, but it's like, I thought you said Manila Gorilla.
No.
Just a manila envelope with gorilla arms.
The Thriller in Manila Gorilla.
Yeah.
It probably would be a more interesting show if it was a manila envelope with gorilla arms, to be fair.
He's not wrong.
Oh, no, damn it, no! Well, shit.
That's the 360-degree rotation of frustration.
Yeah, basically. Why didn't I cut?
Yeah. Because wait, how long is the part? It's 14 minutes. You didn't want it to be an 11-minute part.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna
Go back to 2007 YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that because I thought I was relatively good. Because I'm not good at video games. I screw up the platforming in this a lot. Because as a kid, I actually never really got very far in this game. Well, by not got very far, I mean I never beat it until I was much older. And even then, like, I died a lot. Like, I think I got the second power-up, the cruise bubble. I did beat Robo-Patrick, but, like, I just got stuck by a lot of the really hard levels in this game, which is not Jellyfish Fields. Jellyfish Fields is about as simple as it gets, but once you get to the second and third parts of the hub world, some of this stuff does get relatively challenging. I would say for a game aimed at really, really young kids, for sure. I mean, granted, it's not the hardest game ever. Like, this isn't Mario Sunshine or anything like that.
When I think
but
about
still.
these kind of platformers, I think about more relaxing gameplay than challenging gameplay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, some of them do have their challenging bits and pieces, but for the most part, I just enjoy the ride, you know?
Yeah. I mean, granted, people play different games for different things, but definitely for 3D collectathon-y type platformers, I enjoy them to be more chill. Like, that's actually the Spyro Reignited trilogy at the time of this recording came out like a week ago. And I've been enjoying those games a lot because they're not too demanding. They don't ask for too much from you. It's actually one of the reasons why I personally prefer Banjo-Tooie to Banjo-Kazooie, because Banjo-Kazooie is a game where you die a lot, and that's not the kind of game where you want to be dying a lot. You just want to explore and have fun. At least that's what I want. You know, like maybe you want to die in Rusty Bucket Bay over and over again, and you know what? I won't kink shame you out loud.
Yeah, you'll never hear someone say, you know what, this game needs more pachinko machines.
No, wait, no, John, you will, Konami.
Okay. Fair. No, Konami, you know, this needs more erotic violence.
And pachinkos.
Maybe
Let's start the SpongeBob game.
that must be what they ask second then. It's just like, okay, we got a pachinko machine. What can we add now? Erotic.
About a pachinko machine that you can fuck. I think it's time to sit down, Mr. Konami. That's not my name.
You see, you're saying that, and I noticed that slightly phallic-shaped pile of rocks that was to our right over there. So you know, maybe that's
Anything's phallic if you look hard enough.
well, even a vagina.
Especially a vagina.
No, because a vagina cannot be phallic, because phallic means penis. Ryan. There's a word for it. But I don't know what it is, and I'll also.
Unphallic.
I mean, okay, I guess that also works. Okay, I'm glad the part's over. All right, we're done. I'm stopping this before.
Someone's gonna take this video, but a specific timestamp. It's like, well, so what's BrainScratch comms like? It links to SpongeBob at this specific time, saying, "Can a vagina be phallic?"